snow, red sky, reach up for so high, blue eyes, fake cry, beware of the fox tonight. Cold feet, a dark rain, my blood in your frozen veins, dream high, no pain, run fast in the broken chains.
All right. Hello, everyone. So I should say good evening because right now in Taiwan it's about 10 p.m. but in Spain it's 3 p.m. right now. Yep. So yeah, Gio, this is our first live stream public. So, but before we get into the live stream, there's an announcement you can see right there. It's the repeal era. These online courses, the discount will be over after this live stream. So I remember like 3 years ago, like Gio, we made this course together and we have this natural alpha courses and how to maintain a long-term relationship in this course. And Gio and I, we made the video inside. So just to let you guys know, after this live stream, the discount will be over. All right. Yeah. So actually, Gio, where are you right now? In the hotel, right?
Oh, yeah. Business. Well, it's not like everybody ever always gets to see me whatever in business mode. So yeah.
And I don't know if you guys noticed like your glass right there actually is the first time you wear your glass. You explain that.
I wear glasses. I wear so like I gave maybe this explanation earlier. When I spoke to you guys in the seminar, I spoke about your delivery, how you put yourself together, nonverbal communication. So this for me is a trust exercise. So I'm at this hotel in Benidorm because I came to meet someone whose company I just acquired. Off chance, this man was in Spain and we had already transferred all the documents to show proof of funds and everything, and they signed off on us seeing everything from their side. EBITDA, all of that, so we knew what cash flow they had, all this stuff, right? And they basically told me, hey, he's in Spain, he's in Alicante. I'm like, where? I can set up a meeting. So booked this hotel. My other kids are over in the other room. Well, not technically right now, they're out in basketball court. And I brought the family, but this was business for me. So this is business mode Gio. And these are an exercise in trust. Whenever people see me and I'm walking around in like a tank top and some shorts, I have all these tattoos on the exterior. Everybody just assumes, okay, one, he's either a gangster or he's just a jerk. And nobody ever says, wait, is he actually smart? Is there anything else to this person? So when I put these glasses on and I put my button downs on, it's a trust exercise. It allows people to feel more comfortable with me. Hey, Carter. And it turns into, business being made. So secured that merger and you guys get to see me in the spectacles for the first time.
Yeah, I guess in the end of the day, appearance does matter, right? Today we will talk about a lot of things about like business and entrepreneurship and maybe your career or your work. But I want you guys to more engage in the chat room. I know like right now we're speaking English, and probably many of you guys couldn't, follow us, during the whole live stream. But I encourage you guys to practice listening to English. And I also taught Jill that you can speak a little bit slower, because sometimes you just like, and
Yeah, when I get excited, like when I talk about things that I'm passionate about, I start doing this. So yeah.
Yeah. And today the live stream, actually, it's because we had a live stream last time, I guess it's 2 weeks ago, and we talk about in general how to improve your life options. And we made a homework for the whole students right there, and we received around like 10% of the student, you guys made the homework, and the ratio is about right. Most of the time 10% of the people, or maybe even 5% of people, can be successful. It's just the nature of the law, right? So we receive about 10% of the students' homework, and we will talk about it. We chose about 5 homeworks, and we will talk about it. We will answer the question. Yeah.
So let me just say, that number is actually, see, when we did the seminar, I said I wanted you guys to use it as an opportunity based on what was being said to assess whether or not the life that we live is right for you in relation to, being an entrepreneur, freedom of movement, going wherever we want, and continuing in that train of thought, or whether or not you're just a perfect employee. And toward that end, having about 10% of the people submit their responses, which shows your intent to get shit done, it stands to reason that not everyone is built for this. And somebody has to be honest with you. A lot of you are not entrepreneurs. A lot of you might be highly efficient employees, but you're just stuck in a job that is just not the job for you. You might just need another job because, yet again, you might not be a boss. All right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But just thank you for keeping the numbers honest, and I commend everyone who actually attended and participated, because this road, when you decide, I want to be an employee, a lot of it is up here. A lot of it is mental. You have to have what it takes here, and you need to know what you don't know and be in a mindset of learning so that you can start to achieve. And so,
Yeah. So I think we should, make some poll right now, okay, in the chat room. Right now, if you are still a student, type 0 in the chat room, all right? And if you have a job, you're graduate from the university, or you're retired from the military, you're working right now for, corporation, or you start your own business, it doesn't matter. You can type 1, okay? We want to know, like, who are you people right here? Because I know in this channel, I talk about like intersexual dynamic a lot. And I just realized one day, actually, Jill, because my channel, actually, I'm not a dating coach. I'm not pickup artist, So I speak from a person who is an entrepreneurship. So when you have this kind of financial stable, and when you go out a date with a woman, right? It's pretty, natural that you just pay for the date or whatever. It's not a problem, right? You just do it. But I just realized actually not every man can do that, because they have to go Dutch, they have to share the bill, right? And I just realized, oh shit, like maybe we are speaking in a different language. So I realized, okay, one thing is very important for you guys is if you want to change your lifestyle, if you want to fundamentally change the way you interact with the female, and if you want to adopt the red pill idea, then you couldn't avoid the topic we are talking about today. So yeah, before we get into the homework, so okay, right now we have like 2 students actually, right? Akita,
2 students and then everyone else
and
is.
we have a doctor right here, and we have all the people right here, right? So yeah, we have some students, and we have some people who owns his own business, and we have many kinds of occupation right here. Gio, can you talk about like the difficulty for, because you know my audience a little bit, right? And I guess
Yeah.
most of the people, they stuck in their career or their job, and I'm pretty sure they want to get out of it. For example, right now, like you are in a hotel, you're not here, I'm here, and we want to make a live stream, and we can just like boom, make this live
Right.
stream and make content. So what do you think about it? How do they somehow, perceive their current situation if they're stuck in the position right now?
Okay. So I say this to you guys, and if you guys see me moving, it's because, again, this is only me 5%. I hate getting dressed up because my arms are bigger and I can't close my shirt because my traps are bigger. And to a certain degree, I hate this. I feel uncomfortable, but this is what I have to do to make the bread that I make, right? But ultimately, number one, you have to be having, just like you said earlier, you can't avoid these conversations. You have to actually be in the company of people who are having these high-level conversations if this is what you are trying to achieve. There's no sense you talking to the person that goes, oh, I hate this fucking job, every day when that person has no intention of changing their station and leaving this fucking job and has no plan of how to leave this fucking job. You're talking to a wall. You're in an echo chamber with someone that agrees with you, but neither of you have a fucking plan, and because of that, your life is suffering. So, far be it from me to say, is a part of the reason why when we did the seminar, I thought to myself, a lot of this is going to sound like, oh, what's going on upstairs? But truly, it has to sound like what's going on upstairs, because if you are not thinking about business, if you're not thinking with a business mindset, thinking about the difference between profit and revenue, understanding how to make a business plan, understanding basic marketing, things like that, or even the very fact of, hey, wait, you know what? I don't actually need to have my business in Taiwan. I could actually start a business in the United States, even though I'm a Taiwanese citizen. Things along those lines, then you're having the wrong conversations. Like I said, I'm at this hotel today because I'm here to acquire someone's business, right? It takes a certain mindset to be an entrepreneur. And like Aiden said in the seminar, when you become an entrepreneur, it's not like you get less problems. You just have better problems than everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so I think today live stream we will just have for like 1 hour, and let's just get into the homework. We picked 5 homework right here, so let's get into the first one, right? Okay, so let's read this homework together a little bit. So this student, he is a firmware engineer and work for a Dutch corporation, right? And he said that he can use his company resource to improve himself and create his own business. Actually, that is the tip I gave for my audience. I was saying that, you should work hard, but you should also work smart to utilize the resource of your company. And then right now, his business target is a motorcycle road trip. Right. And actually, he has his YouTube channel. And his liability is he has a car loan and app services fee.
Fees.
All right. And his future investment is house rental. Okay. He said it may impact his expense. And he wants to rent a house which can let him film video on motorcycle mountain. So actually he's been making contents for months, right? All right. And his skill set, he is a professional electronics engineer, firmware engineer. That is the huge amount of people doing that job in Taiwan, the engineer. Like we are engineer country, actually. Our
Right.
the country is shit.
70%. You guys produce 74% of the world's chips. Yeah.
No shit. He wants to create a business which can also fit his lifestyle, right? And he wants to road trip in West Canada. Have you been to Canada before?
Yeah, Toronto.
My
brother lives there. My brother lives there, so I decided not to go back.
All right, I've never been there, so maybe in the future. All right. So here he said there are plenty of options for him. So I guess he has his own value, actually. He has his day job, but he just wants to get to the next level, right? He needs money to invest in equipment, support his life, He wants to gather the first 1,000 subscribers in his YouTube channel and try to build his email subscription. Right? Yeah, he is the Choose Your Reality course. He's very productive, actually.
Okay.
All right. So do you have any advice for him? So I guess his homework does very clear.
I mean, yeah, it's very clear. You went in with a lot of detail. So number one, what I'd say is this, right? You want to try and be as lean as possible. I'll say something. You have all the makings of what can either be a very expensive hobby or an actual business, right? So you're going into the world of content creation in relation to these vlogs from your motorcycle and you want to turn into trips. There are actually quite a few channels on YouTube. Not a lot, especially because a lot of them, what they test while they're riding their motorcycles are actually the cameras and not the actual journey itself. So you want to be a vlogger, but you want to pay specific attention to your motorcycle, right? What I would say is this. You might need to hybridize your content format. So you want to create hybrid content. One might potentially be teaching people about the mechanics of your motorcycle, right? While actually using your motorcycle to go out and document these journeys, right? There's a lot there because obviously if you have a motorcycle, then there's a lot of maintenance and upkeep involved in that. And I'm not certain if you are super well versed, but if you are, there is an opportunity there for you to be teaching people about the motorcycles and also about the journey itself. Separate and aside from that, because you're using a motorcycle, say you have plans in the future of upgrading, you could always do content where you're, I suppose, educating people on the best motorcycle to use for a particular type of journey, the particular terrain, where they might want to go and the best motorcycle to support that journey based on what they might encounter along the way. Whether or not it's rugged terrain or if it's just strictly smooth road, you want to think about things like that. When it comes to content, I like to do this thing in my mind that I call forecasting. I create a spectrum for myself, knowing where I can operate from point A to point B and ensuring that both things are related. Whether or not they're the same doesn't have to be, but they're related. So the content relates to both, and in so doing, you then plan, say, about 3 to 4 weeks worth of content in advance, right? It's called forecasting. I know where I'm starting, I know where I want to be, so I plan the content that I think might get me there, and you call that your structured content. Now, in between where you have your structured content, you can sprinkle in some unstructured, where you give people things that may be related to, but it's not on the same path. So they get to make a connection with you as the content creator and figure out more about who you are, so that you can engender more people to want to subscribe to your channel. Separate and aside from that, going the route, because I also noted in your homework that you said the information that you gather as you're going along, getting people to take this journey with you, you want to turn it into a course, right? Look at the resources that you have around you and identify what can be and what can't be a course, because you might have more than one course in your content and you're just not aware of it, okay? Because you want to diversify your options. You have to be thinking about it like a business. At the end of the day, are you going to register this thing as a business? Then if you do that, you want to structure it the right way. You want to treat yourself like a salaried employee and not like whatever money comes from YouTube or comes from my courses is my money. You have to meter yourself. Pay yourself a livable wage. Reinvest the profits that you make. But for now, you're probably living on Sacrifice Road, which means that you are putting in more into your passion right now than you are getting from it. And so you need to have a few shortcuts along the way. So number one, I know that YouTube has now gotten to the point where they have phased out content tracking, where you can't target someone else's content, their audience over, because they're going for a machine learning AI approach, where if people want something, that is what they get. So what I would then suggest is this. Quite possibly you could run a series of low budget discovery ads on YouTube against your content to have more people see it. And there are measures that you can use to advertise to people that have a likelihood of subscribing. And then separate and aside from that, just make sure that you're using the right keywords in the process. So you want to go for people who are fans of motorcycles. You want to go for people who like how do I go about this one? What did I say? Different brands of motorcycles as well too, right? And the last thing I would go for is people who like traveling, right? The way they travel might also affect whether or not it's just traveling or people who like to travel by motorcycle. But giving you, 4 measures that you can use to set yourself up for better success, possibly reach your 1,000 subscribers faster and build up those hours. Lastly, if the platforms make something available to you, use those things. So YouTube now exists on 3 layers. You have long form content, what I call mid form, which is just shorter, just anything that's under an hour or whatever. And then you also have shorts. If you're not utilizing the shorts, which they've now made available, then there's something wrong with that. There have been over 400 million, I believe, hours watched in shorts since it's been brought about. Now, as of February of this year, they're going to be creating a fund separate for shorts to monetize, and people are going to be open to a 45% share of that revenue. So you want to utilize the things that they're making available to you so that they see you as a contributor to the platform and then push your content out there. So start jumping on the shorts train as well too. Make some short form content related to motorcycles that's not necessarily travel worthy, but you probably reacting to other people on their motorcycles, even motorcycle accidents, you name it. But as long as it's related to something that falls in your wheelhouse, start doing it. You need to be more entertaining and educating at the same time. I call it edutainment. Entertain them while you educate them.
Educating, yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess my advice for you, I think, is right now, because you join my course and now you know the basic skill how to make the content. And in the course, I also teach you everything. You can use that course for the next, I would say, 1 year, 3 years, even 5 years. There's all the tools in the course. But in the end of the day, you need to be entrepreneur. You need to sell your product, or you need to sell something to your customers. So my question for you is, do you have a vision or a plan that the people will pay for you and what you can provide? I think in the end of the day, you need to think about this. All right, you cannot just keep making content and keep saying that, this is my hobby, I have passion. I think passion, the things you like to do is not really enough. So you need to have that vision. I think this is really important. And during this time, you can keep making more content, improve your skill set. And when the time is right, you can build your course, because you have to learn multiple skills if you want to be an entrepreneur. I've learned so many things that, I couldn't imagine when I was a software engineer, because I need to make a business, right? I need to improve my English. I need to study. I need to make the video. I need to do everything. Just point to the direction that some people would like to pay me. All right. So from the homework you just wrote, this is the advice I want to tell you. If I ask you right now, can you convince just one person to pay you a certain amount of money for what you can provide? Can you do it? If you cannot even, convince one person to pay you, I don't think you can have a business in the future. All right. So let's get to the next homework. Okay.
Yep.
Homework 2. Okay, this is you want to talk about, right? This guy,
Right.
he works in a restaurant because that is his family business. All right.
Mhm.
You have a business, but he doesn't know what job is suited for him. He can handle the restaurant job. He's the only child in the family.
Mhm.
And his parents actually didn't pressure him to inherit the family business. So, all right, that's a good thing. Okay, but he's been doing, working in a restaurant for a long time. All right, so I've been thinking about not how to make more money, but what value I can provide to solve other people's problems. So I still can think of it. All right. So he's still confused. Actually, he doesn't know if he still
Yeah,
wants
for
to,
sure.
work in the restaurant, or he wants to, start his own business, right? And his liability is pretty stable, actually. He doesn't have, many liabilities. What skills does he have? He studied history. He has a degree. He's been
Wait 1
writing
second.
novels, right?
Can you scroll back up for 1 second to hit the liability section right here? 1 second, right there.
Here. Yeah.
See, I like what he says here, though. He said, even though everything is stable with the business, he identifies that the family business is another system in disguise because he has no financial freedom.
So it's good, it's good. This is a good mindset, don't just settle, you have to keep going if you want
All
to,
right.
build in the business. All right. I have some idea recently, but I'm very confused about the future. I know that I'm in the transition period. Recently, I've started to arrange to record my own podcast. Okay, he's also making the content about personal experience about certain aspects, right? Adapt the novel I wrote into video output and use the audio visual platform to market myself. All right, I don't. All right, I'll keep reading. Not sure. It feels everything is unknown. How do you execute your plan in your near future? You good? You good? Can you hear me? Hello, hello. I couldn't hear you right now. Just check
Oh,
your microphone.
I'm
Okay.
muted. My bad.
Yeah, you're back. Okay, cool. Yeah. So we're here. So here's how do you execute your plan? In the near future, I plan to do 3 things. Publish the relevant experience of the books I read on my social media every week. The other is to record an episode of podcast every week and complete 100,000 words essay every 2 months, novel, and make it into the video channel. Okay, I think I need more exploration to be clear about what I want to do. All right, you got advice for him?
Okay, so number 1, starting at the top, he's with his family's business. He just said he's not necessarily focused on making more money, but what value he can, add. I mean, ultimately in business, like adding more revenue to anyone's plate is adding value. So if you're taking your family's business from a business mindset, how have you considered scaling that family business? Because ultimately, if I'm running a restaurant and I was involved in catering because of my wife at one point in time, I understand that it takes a great deal of investment, especially when you're just starting out. And if it's a smaller operation that's being run by you, it takes a shit ton of time. I get that. But when do you bring on more staff and train that staff so that you can actually be more efficient in relation to the daily operations of that restaurant? If you can serve more people, bring about more customers, then you should be able to increase the business's revenue, right? That is a value-adding operation. If you can think about how to scale or grow the family's business, there is that. Maybe it just might be the case that if you can come in from a business mindset and with growth in mind and show them how their revenues can increase, then that might be a way of gaining yourself some financial freedom, because you need to get the organism to be on a path where it's almost, functioning by itself, employees being factored in, right? So I'm not certain how many employees you guys have at that restaurant, but you need to find a way to create a system that replaces you in the restaurant so you can work outside the restaurant, i.e., you're able to further invest in yourself and what you want to do. Because it seems to be the case that you only did this because you're comfortable. Well, that's a problem. In you saying that the restaurant itself is another system in disguise, that's because you have been very comfortable. Now, not to Andrew Tate this thing, but you have to grow through shit in life. You sometimes have to walk away from that comfort zone. Right now, what's happening is that your parents are cosseting you. It's like you're still that baby. And the business is how they're keeping you right here because you feel comfortable. Ain't shit that you need to do. All I need to do is make sure that mommy and daddy's business stays up and running, and I'm okay. So either you want to stay there and turn up the family business, which that's not a bad idea, but actually replace yourself in that job so that the ship is running, the business can be scaled. You can probably open another location because you said the location is pretty fixed. It's food. Food is never pretty fixed. McDonald's understood that. Burger King understood that. That's why you have McDonald's and Burger King in every country in the world. Food is not fixed. People eat shit all the time. So look at the operation, and with a business mindset, maybe that's what it is. You might actually need some business coaching or consulting because ultimately, I don't think you have a plan. I've listened to everything that you said now from reading the homework. And apart from you deciding, yeah, I'm going to be a content creator and turn the chapters from the book into actual videos, but you can do that. You take a piece of AI like v.io, or even if you take the script from your book and you throw it into Descript and a few other online platforms, it will churn out videos for you, faceless videos, which those are a thing. I have over 11 different Facebook pages, all of them faceless channels. And across all of them, I think more than 20 billion views in relation to how the content is set out and the fact that I don't show my face at all. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to turn your information into videos and you still don't have to show up for it. But there's still no plan there, because you can do content creation, and you specifically, you can do content creation right now with ease because you're comfortable. But what are you challenging yourself with? What is going to be your business outside of your family's restaurant, if you want to go there? And if not, what is the plan that you have to use to scale your family's restaurant business so that you can have a few more locations and gain yourself even that much more freedom? You are the next generation, and you need to sit down and think about how you are going to either turn the operation up or walk away from it so you can go turn something out for yourself. Like you said, you have no financial freedom. So you need to look at how you're budgeting, because you are working in this business, and if you are, then you're being paid. It's just that you are probably very loose or very relaxed with your spending. So you don't even have time to put together a proper business strategy and a marketing strategy for what would be a product. But then again, I don't think you have a product either. So you need to seriously reflect on what's going on in your life. Take some more accountability and know that you are too comfortable. And because you're so comfortable, you really don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm. So for me, it's I think you can consider one things is how you can, what's the word, leverage your resource, because not everyone has a family business, right? So you have a family business right there. I think you should take advantage of it. But right now I'm thinking about your mindset is, okay, I have a restaurant, I work for a long time, that's just rare, there's nothing I can change about that, and I want to start another business right here. Well, how should I choose? My question for you is, you know, you can put everything together, right? It's you don't hate the restaurant business, and right now you want to practice some other skill, right? You're writing, you're doing everything. So you need to combine everything to create the value, right? How you can, for example, can you use your new skill set and improve your family business, right? And the important things of this is, in the end of the day, you know, from my memory, even if I'm doing something I like, I never stop thinking about how I can make money from it, how I can invest myself in a business mindset. I don't want you guys just like, oh, I want to do my passion. It's not about passion. I like to play piano, but I couldn't make money of it. I like to do the swing dance. I make some money of it, right? I try to find a way. If I like to do this, can I make a business of it? If I cannot, boom, just keep it as a hobby. And I find every opportunity, trying to find a way I can take control to make the money. That's the goal, right? And right now, how many control you have for this restaurant? That's the first question you have to ask for yourself. If your parents are fully control the restaurant, maybe you cannot do anything about this. But if they can let you to do some stuff, why not using this opportunity to build your business mindset? All right. Maybe you can hire some people in the future, maybe you cannot. It's all about business mindset and practicing. Okay, so I want you to somehow rethink everything you have and try to think how I can take advantage of it, and also learn more skill set, and thinking is a long term. This is my advice for you. All right, let's get to the homework 3. I'm coming from Kinmen, which is a small island. Taiwanese, as a postgraduate year, is a doctor. Okay, so he's a public expense system. 6 years after finish training for public expense system, in the next year I need to apply for the medical specialty. Have no idea about what specialty was suitable for my ideal lifestyle. All right, so he said he loves music. He loves drum, right?
Mhm.
Join a band, love music, and he still got the medicine degree. Luckily, I think he's bragging himself. It's like, you know what? I just like the music, but somehow I became a doctor. Fuck you.
Mhm.
It's like it's easy to be a doctor, and no, it's not. I guess that's pretty interesting, right?
Mhm.
He can be a doctor like easily, so he probably has some kind of skills that he didn't even realize it, right?
Mhm.
Boom, boom, boom. He's a training. He has to do the surgery. He has a long-term relationship. It's good, right? You read this homework already, right, Jill?
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
So in this day, I need to prepare my value, the financial free language ability to my social skill. Okay, so you have any advice for this doctor?
Okay.
He's
Number
making
one.
content, actually. He's making content on his YouTube channel too, regularly, consistently.
Mhm. Okay, so number one, let me say this. A lot of times when and in the red pill space, when people talk about um, high value men, for some reason, people always list doctors. And when they talk, like they say, she wants a doctor or a lawyer who makes six figures. What a lot of people generally never understand is this: doctors and lawyers, unless they have their own private practices, are employees. Doctors and lawyers are just highly skilled employees in positions that you had to go to college for, right? Now, he says that he still didn't really have any clear idea what his specialty would be, and I get that because I have friends who went to medical school, and that's one of the things that precluded me from being a surgeon, because I thought to myself, I don't want to have to go to school for an additional 6 years so I can then pick a specialty and then only be known for that one thing. Because as a doctor, you are sometimes limited availability in relation to you always being available for your hospital, but not available for your own life. You are always on call. Now, a number of things that can happen here. You can have, and I think I covered some of this with you earlier. You have the opportunity, whereas doctors are in high demand, to transfer your medical degree, have it, I think the methodology is called the PNG method, where you basically take that and you basically have your certifications recognized in another country, say like the UK or somewhere in Europe, where they're in need of doctors, and they will actually take you, and based upon your qualification of being a doctor, you can also travel, right? You can get some semblance of the travel that you're looking for. And then the next easiest thing for you to do after that is to actually structure a business where you open a private practice, because as a private doctor, you get to take on patients in your own time. You also get to scale and grow your own operation. That is how you take back control of your life. You've already gone that route. The only other thing I might suggest to you is you trying to implement your passion for music into what is it that you do now. Except I saw that you made mention of being an OBGYN. I don't know that many women who want you playing drums while you're delivering their babies, right? So
Mm.
you're a very skilled doctor with additional talents. The problem is, let's see here. You see here, partner in a law firm still be exactly. Even if you're a senior partner in a law firm, you're still employed. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, a senior partner doesn't have to be a named partner, and a senior partner still has to answer to somebody else. Like, these things happen. These things do happen, and you have to meet a quota just like anyone else. A senior partner has to close cases. They have to make sure, especially if you're talking about corporate law, they have to be keeping clients. Client retention is a thing. They have to be landing new clients. Just that they get to have a deeper staff pool to look at to be like, hey, I need this done. But you still answer to somebody else. So ultimately, unless you decide to take the reins of your own operation in check, you are going to be a highly skilled individual who's a high value employee. What you want to look at is, where can I leverage the skills that I have? And this is general for everybody, mind you. Any skill that you have is a business. If you are set on being the doctor, then hey, you might as well do two things. You can either separate your content and have two different modes. One channel where you're talking about the music that you're so passionate about, putting your skills on display, but the fact that you're still a goddamn doctor, but people are getting the drum and bass from you because you know what you're doing. Or you look at, how can I leverage this where it's actually needed? The UK is having a big crisis in relation to doctors. They could use you. You transfer your medical degree, you go there, you get yourself set up, you start a private practice because they really do need doctors badly there. So you would get by just on that. You'd be able to change locations and be free. A good friend of mine, he's a, not that it's the same thing, but he's still, he's a dental technician, right? He literally only takes 1 week vacations. And he said to me, he just doesn't feel like he can leave his patients. I'm like, your patients need to know that you're a human being too. He has a private practice, but he treats himself like a slave, like an employee. He can only afford to take a 1 week vacation, and then he goes right back into it. And I said to him, it's your business. These people come to you for a private service that you provide. All you need to do is put a certain air of automation in there. Go, hey, between this period and this period here, offices are closed. You can pre-book, and I will see you when I get back at this point in time, but not a week. You need to live your life. And I had to make him understand, your patients come to you because they trust you. Now, if you understand the windows within which your patients are operating, and all right, well, you were here 2 months ago, you don't need to come back until month 3, and you can put them on a calendar, you can create a pivotal window of 1 month where you're just on vacation and people are still going through your system, pre-booking their next appointment, knowing that they'll see you when you get back because you're their doctor and they trust you, right? So that's really what it's about. Either or a doctor friend here comes up with a content strategy that splits his content into 2 parts, because you did show me one piece of his YouTube channel before, and I saw some fitness stuff there. It was great. And to that end too, I would say fitness YouTube has taken many hits over the years. But what I found to be the case is that more often than not now, people who are, how do I say, educated in the medical and in the biological sense where it comes to fitness, their channels soar. And it's because they're able to help people to identify with their anatomy and give them good research, data-based, fact-based information on why their fitness and why their progress doesn't seem to be, where it needs to be. So you could also take that into consideration. Multiple options here, and I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to point out to you that how you put your answers together in your homework, you made it seem like, I could do this, so I did it, and I did this so you're a talented person. You're a multifaceted individual. What you need to do is take the reins on one of these things, focus, zoom in on that, and say, this is where I'm going to go. So if you don't want to be a high-level employee, then you need to start figuring out how to get away from being the doctor on call to being the doctor who takes appointments when he wants to.
And Gio, when you were talking about like he has somehow, I don't know anything about doctor, but I guess he has a very valuable license because he's a doctor, right? That's just, doesn't come easy, So
Right.
Gio, I also told you about a story a couple of months ago in Taiwan, right? There's a YouTuber, her name is Gio Tai Tai. So she basically have online courses and teach people how to somehow become a psychiatrist, and it became like a very controversial topic right there. So basically the criticism is like she doesn't have a license. She was just a patient and consult the psychiatrist for like 100 hours. So that's why people criticize that she cannot, it's not cool to launch her online courses, which is, I agree, because if you're doing some self-help, it's totally different from the clinic situation. I think my point is, the doctor license right there is legit. And I somehow don't know why that, this doctor right here, you don't really want to utilize your advantage. And you still spend a lot of time. You say you need to 6-year training or something, right? And you have to spend so many years on this career. Why don't you leverage your advantage? You might say, hey, Aiden, what about you? You were a software engineer. You were a financial trader. You didn't leverage your everything. I did, because I saw a bigger market, and I saw my unique. If I'm staying in Taiwan, if I'm not traveling, if I don't have this big picture, maybe I would talk about software engineer. But I knew my value, and I know there are so many people. And you might say there are a lot of doctors in Taiwan, but I'm trying to say it's not like I don't want to utilize my software engineer skill set. It's I made my evaluation, and I try to find my value to build my business. So you have a very powerful and valuable the doctor background license. It's just right there. People will trust you because you have that paper. A lot of people, they can be a YouTuber, they cannot do shit, right? So use it, because at the same time you still can build the things you want. You can still practice your skill set, and at the same time you can utilize your advantage. Why don't you do it? Think about it. It's not something that you just want to do for passion. You need to think about a reality, how I can make money or make the need from the market. I think that is right now we have seen that 4 homeworks right now, and I don't see they have this kind of business mindset. It's more about what I want to do or what I have done right now, and I've built this skill set, and that's it. They didn't have a clear roadmap that I can do this and try to do an experiment to build your business. I think that is the beginning of the phase of an entrepreneur. I think that's normal, but you need to go to the next level. All right, let's go for the last homework. All right, this is the one you want to have.
This one is pretty short, pretty straightforward, but that was also very good. Starts off by saying, why are you where you are now? He says, I am here because I follow Taiwan education system and my parents' opinions, and it's basically led him to a subject that he doesn't like.
So he's basically that you say he's a student, right? Let me read this.
Yeah.
I'm here because I follow Taiwanese education system. Yeah, most of us, we follow Taiwanese education system. And that leads to I don't like my subject. And he's a student. He'll graduate next year. So first liability is military service for 4 months. Just 4 months. Come on. It's not that much. In my era, it's I have to spend 13 months. So 3 times than you.
4 months is like a vacation. It's like, hey, come over
here.
We show you how to fire some guns. Let's have fun.
I don't know if we can have fun. I have no idea about the current military service in Taiwan. Yes, renting a house, pay the bill. What kind of skills that you have? Music production, singing coach, and video editing skill. Maybe I can start to craft a self-media business about sharing my song, teaching how to sing, and set up courses. All right, got it. So any advice for him?
Okay. So the reason why I purposely wanted to pick yours is because, number one, you're a student, you're in a pivotal point, which I noticed this for a lot of people. A lot of people are already in business, but some of them are pivotal in that pivotal transition period. You're in school about to leave so that you can go and do X or Y. And I remember in the live stream, I had said to him in particular, finish school. Finish school because you already started and you graduate next year, which I believe next year is this year because we did a live stream 2 weeks ago in 2022. So you graduate this year. There's no point in not completing the process. But at the same time, you are in that mold where you can 100% decide, you know what, I'm going to start investing in me right now and doing me. So his quandary becomes this. creating financial distance from his parents, creating emotional distance from his parents, and creating physical distance from his parents. So he already highlighted that he needs to get a job so that he can find somewhere to rent, which I'm glad he took heed to that piece of advice, because for as long as your parents are the one pulling the financial strings, you are going to be at their whims, right? Meaning your life is going to be guided by their choices and their money, because you can't spend the money for them. Now, if you can, in the mid to short term, especially with the rate of how social media is growing right now, produce results that show them why. And I say this, a lot of people are like, but what do you mean produce results? He says he wants to sell courses. He says he wants to teach people how to sing, right? The course creation industry right now is booming, right? Universities cannot keep up with the amount of courses that creators are making, because universities are meant to be a long-term stick. You go to university for either 4 to 6 years, and then when you're done, you might want to go back in again and get a master's. That was never, I'm not going to advise anyone to do that unless you're a doctor or a lawyer, whatever you want to do. But for everyone else, it's either you keep jumping back on that horse for years at a time, racking up more debts, or staying inside the system, or you can go the road less traveled and figure out, how can I make some money right now? Leverage the skills that you have. You can sing, you do music production, you do video production, you want to create courses. You have to your avail. You could teach basic singing courses, right? Might sound like not much, but there's actually a master class for that. That costs about $680 online. So it is not far-fetched. You can create courses teaching people how to sing. You can create basic courses teaching people how to do video music production. You can then go in and create foundation courses for how to edit videos, right? With the state of the world as it is right now, all of these things have become simplified, and then social media now is growing like a rash. You just need to find the time that you're going to use towards your content creation and marketing efforts, right? And you don't need to go running right away and say, yeah, I'm going to register this business, right? Do it as kind of like a freelance thing. Begin there. So you don't need to necessarily worry about these heavy taxes that you need to pay for something that is not selling as yet, right? You may go a step further and say, yeah, I'm going to get a domain name. You can probably pay for 4 years in advance using maybe say like hosting or well, whatever hosting sources you guys have available to you in Taiwan. But I know for me, the ones that I use in general, they'll give me up to 4 years at a time for a discounted fee. And so you go there, you create the structure for what it is that you're offering in relation to these different courses, and then you utilize third-party platforms to sell the courses. So you could be looking at Udemy, you could be looking at New Zenler, and especially if you want to take a hands-on approach where you get to interact with the people, you could use Teachable. I'm suggesting these things because, number one, these platforms are built on sales, right? They run in line with, we need to sell stuff so we make money. So you take these courses and you can create basic foundation or introductory courses and load them onto these platforms. And then the platform will do the work for you, selling the stuff, right? You just need to be mindful of SEO, what people would be searching for to ensure that you hit the nail on the head on a regular basis. And as these platforms are pushing your product and the sales are growing, you have a benchmark to look at. You go, well, okay, so I actually have a product. I didn't have to worry about marketing it myself. I put it on a third-party platform so that they could do the sales and marketing for me. And I made about 500 sales. I made 500 sales in 3 months. I have a product. What do? I take the money that I've made from that and I reinvest that into my own operations, possibly running a direct-to-cart ad from YouTube. So I already have an audience around me. I have a product that's being sold over here. I run a direct-to-cart ad, bringing it to the actual product itself, increasing sales. Or I take that revenue and I put it back into my content creation operation to try and improve the level of content that I'm making for people, especially because I'm doing music, improve sound, improve software, testing the different softwares that exist out there, like BB Tubes or Alchemist Sounds, like all these different music softwares that are now out there that people are using to make all these fancy songs and whatnot. You could possibly even start running a channel based off of creating music using these softwares and then seeing how far you go, because that is also a very good industry to be in right now where YouTube is concerned.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think I also want to answer this question. And this is my plan. If I were you, okay, that would be my plan. First of all, you don't like your subject in university. Understand? And you also said you like to do music production, scene coach, and you want to build online courses. And I can guarantee you, right? If right now the way you make money, the first way you want to make money is sell online course, I think you will fail. And you will fail miserably. I mean, now. So my plan will be, I will use my skill set, because you know about music production, scene coach, and whatever that is, right? So which means you have the skill set that people will pay you to do something for them. For example, people will pay you to make a music. People will pay you to do the video editing. People will pay you whatever to teach them how to sing, something like this. I want you to, in the beginning of your career, you need to somehow sell your skill to earn money. You need a capital in the beginning. And if you're a subject in your university, I don't know, maybe you're an engineer or whatever, just find a day job that you can have 9 to 5. You don't have to work overtime, and you can have some stable income. So I would say in the beginning of your phase, if I were you, I'm trying to find a way to earn money. I don't want to somehow say, all right, I will build my online course. I will just only do my YouTube channel without earning any, earning income. And boom, I said, no, you'll fail, because you need some credibility. If you want to sell an online course, how do you convince people your course is better than other people? But if you say, for the past 2 years or for the past 1 year, I do this job, I have all these clients, I have this portfolio, right? So while you are doing this freelancer, right? Gio, I think you know about freelancer, all the websites. And maybe you can improve your English, right? So we can serve the customer international, right? So during this process, you earn some income, right? You collect this work and build maybe your website or your own channel, right? Because you want to do online courses, you need to know how to make the video. You document all of this and earn the money in the future. That will be approach I will use. So if I do this in the future, I will have multiple options. I can, become a self-made, whatever websites, and I have a really great portfolio, and people will pay me to do this music production, and I can charge higher because I have the portfolio already, or because right now I have experience of making all this music and I have all this work, then I can sell online courses which teach people first how to make money from making the music, or second, how to make the music, or third, you have multiple choices you can make. So because right now you are young, and when you are young, you need to learn and earn some experience. It's very hard for you just like boom, have a business idea and make money like an entrepreneur. It doesn't work that way. You still have to go through all these phases, use your skill set to earn money as a freelancer. I think freelancer is a pretty cool idea, because right now I'm an entrepreneur. Sometimes I just need people to do some work for me. I can pay them, and it's a high demand. Everybody does it. So that would be my advice for you. Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
All
1
right.
hour. You guys have no question, all right? You have no question. Any last thoughts from today's topic, Jill?
Oh wait, does anybody actually have any questions?
Nobody has a
Anything in the
question?
chat?
Right now, we have people right here, and I guess these people you can understand us, right? We got it's
All
good.
right.
You know, I want you guys to just practice. Oh, by the way, I want to emphasize one thing, right? So, for example, right now, Gio, I'm learning Spanish, right? And we are
right.
also having this business. You have multiple business. I think I also have multiple business right now, somehow more than one. And it's in the past, I somehow sympathize people like, oh, you have a day job, and maybe you cannot have the side business. Right now, I would say bullshit. Right now, every day I have wake up so early and go to the school and learn my Spanish like 7 and 8 hours a day. When I got back, it's already 4 or 5 p.m. and I still have a build business for you. I have to do this live stream. So I know how does it feel like if you have a day job and you have a side hustle. So that's why I advise the previous guy, like you can do this freelancer and do multiple things. I try to invest. You can speak pretty well Spanish, right? I couldn't. And I told my audience that, I believe language is so powerful. That is my long-term goal. Right now, I learn Spanish. Next, I will learn another language, and I will learn more and more language, because there's a knowledge barrier right there that you couldn't use a translator to overcome this barrier. So if I can master like languages, then boom, it's a great advantage. It's a long-term investment, right? That's the mindset I want to share with you guys. If you are students, you have a day job, go side hustle. You still can date. You still have your social life. You can work out. You can still earn money. That's how you become an entrepreneur. So we got questions right here.
Okay.
Why Andrew
Right,
Tate
so
arrested?
my guy said, why
Okay,
was
we'll
Andrew
talk about
Tate
it later.
arrested?
How could you keep inspiring yourself day by day? Because of it's easy to keep for a few days, but after that, I go back to my regular lifestyle. All right, you got any?
Oh, okay. So that right there is a matter of discipline versus motivation, right? I actually did a video the other day on my personal Facebook page, because I started a whole new fitness routine, and I said, when motivation fails, discipline is what shows up to get the job done. So what I would say, AC, is that you need to find that thing that you're going to do for 30 days. A simple thing, anything. If you want to lose weight, get up in the mornings and step on your scale. Look at what it says. And then do one less thing than you did the day before to ensure that it doesn't say the same thing when you get up the next morning. It's not that simple, I know. But at the height of my fitness career, I was so in tune with myself that if I gained 1 pound, or let's just put it down to a kilogram. If I gained a kilogram, I would know. I got up, I would roll out of bed, and just the way I rolled out of the bed, I'd be like, I gained weight. Step on the scale. Boom. 1 pound extra. By the end of the day, boom. It's back to normal. It's gone. Put in the work. So ultimately, you need to form good habits, right? You need to create new patterns in your life. And it takes 30 to 40 days to make a new habit, to form a good pattern. So you need to set yourself up, hold yourself accountable, find an accountability partner, somebody that will tell you, hey, you have to move right now. And set yourself on task, right? If you complete this for 40 days straight, I guarantee you, as a matter of fact, I had something in mind for this particular live stream that I wanted to say. If you want to be a high performance individual, especially us as men, you want to be a high performance male, start taking up physical fitness. Because the same amount of discipline that it takes to build a physique and have a great looking body is the same amount of discipline that it takes to grow a business and scale that into a 6 and 7 figure operation. Thing is, when you start to work on discipline, not motivation, because motivation can fail. You can be like, oh, I don't feel like doing it today. I don't feel like doing it today is I'm not motivated to do this today. But discipline says, fuck how you feel. Get the fuck up because you have to do this. And so you get up and you go do it. I don't like doing everything that I do, but I do it because I have to do it. Get where I'm coming from. Some parts of the business that I have are not my favorite. Like, I don't like entertaining new clients all the time. Sometimes I like being in my downtime relaxing. Shit, even when it comes to our relationships, I don't like doing all the things that I do for my wife. But you know why we do it? Like Andrew Tate said, there's a duty involved in it. It's a certain discipline, because if I don't do the parts that I'm supposed to do, at some point she's not going to do the parts that she's supposed to do. And she doesn't necessarily love all the parts either, but she does it because there's duty involved. So find whatever it is that you need to center your discipline around, and then that will get you to do it. Don't count on being motivated. Just think about the reasons why you must, and then push through the feeling, because feelings are what women operate on. And if you stay operating on those feelings, it's because like you're trying to find an excuse. You need to use logic. Logic is discipline oriented. You do this because of this. Feelings are motivated by, again, feelings and motivation go hand in hand. If I feel like doing something, then yeah, I can do it because I'm motivated to do it because I felt like doing it. That's the wrong mode. You want to do the thing that's based in logic, that tells you you must because there's a good result at the end of it. So you need a habit, you don't have one, start doing some exercises. Do 100 push-ups every day for 30 days. Guarantee you, when you get done, if you've never done it before, you're going to be like, wow, look at me. I'm a different person. I can do anything. And that's the kind of mold that you want to be in.
Cool. All right. Well, you want to... I know right now people keep talking about this news all the time. It's a hot topic right here. Yeah.
So I really think that, which I've seen this before. Whenever someone is held for an extended period of time, I know someone that was held in jail for 6 months until they built a case against them. So this video that keeps going around about Andrew Tate, where they say, oh, he knew it was going to happen to him. It's not that he knew it was going to happen to him. It's just that he knows how the legal system works. Now, personally, do I think he did it? I don't think so. I don't think he did it, but ultimately, whether or not you want to call it the matrix or whatever, like there are systems in play in the world that are, you know, operating in full effect. Some of them, no matter how much money you have, you can get caught by those systems. So I feel like it's just one of those cases where right now it's going to be his money against whatever cases they come up with. And it might be the case that this is his last dance. I don't personally feel like he did it. I mean, if I lived the lifestyle where I had all these chicks falling on me on a daily basis, I'm retired from that lifestyle now, mind you. But if I was still living in the zone he was living in and knowing that I had all the options in the world, there would be no reason for me to try and forcibly, you know, have any woman perform any kind of sexual acts, hold them anywhere under duress, because it is a fact. I remember, you know, like at some points when we used to have that party house, like just having girls in our house, like me and 3 of my friends, we all had this massive apartment, and we just constantly had girls teaming to and from, back and forth in our house. And yeah, like these scenarios happen. Like women lie. We have to also remember that women lie. I'm not saying that we shouldn't believe women like they're saying. Me personally, I believe the evidence. And I feel like if there's real evidence, the evidence will bear out to the fact that he's innocent. But if it's a plan to just keep him off the internet because he is not the most liked person, and these days when you tell the truth, it's easy for people to not like you. If that's the plan that's afoot, he might not be coming out anytime soon. Sad to say.
Well, we'll see. I mean, either way, that it's gonna be big, I guess. Of course, I don't think he did it either. So it's just a fight, it's just a battle, it's just a war between like it's not even two forces, I would say multiple forces. And he's the guy who just, what's the word, doesn't back up or back down, right? So
Yeah.
it's just a process. Some people, if you get in this battle and some people get into the jail, I don't know, maybe there are tons of presidents or tons of people, they go to the jail for no reason, right? So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. It's great. So today, I guess this is a new form of content, and this is the first time we speak in English, like on the live stream. Yeah, and like I said, I encourage you people to practice your English, to learn more languages, because that's what I do. That's what I keep learning right now. So if you are in my channel, if you want to improve yourself, if you want to have these options, you want to follow me or follow Jill, in the future, actually, we want to do more, because Jill, we've been talking about business for like 3 years, 4 years, and I've been doing this business for also like 10 years. I have my own way, and definitely you have the world-class way that you do in the real estate, and you do not just only, content creation, right?
Right.
So we will provide you all this knowledge, but there are so many things right there. You couldn't just get there. I mean, suddenly.
That is true.
You need to take one step at a time. One step, and you never go back. I couldn't never go back, like just work for whatever and just chill at home and watching the movie. No, hell fucking no. Like once I got this lifestyle, I have this all responsibility, all the challenge, all the whatever to be here, then there's no turning back. And we want to share all this experience, knowledge, and you guys just need to take action and stay with us. All right. That's it. See you guys next time.
Out.